Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. We have 2 more cards revealed. The last of this week. There'll be more starting again on Monday. It'll be the last week of reveals, as well as a surprise patch went live in Hearthstone. We'll go over the details, changes to Battlegrounds, Arena, and some bug fixes. We'll talk about that, as well as we still have our giveaway going on for Murder Castle Nathria. We have 1 week left to make me go broke, where I'm giving away 3 mega bundles, 2 regular bundles. All you have to do is like and comment on the video in the description below. Subscribe to the channel. For every 1,000 subs we hit, I'm giving away an additional mega bundle. We're already up to 3. All you have to do is hit that sub button and make me go broke. So there's no limit. Keep hitting that button. So yeah, before we get into the cards really quickly, there was a patch, a hotfix patch went live, 23.63. There's a Battlegrounds update. They took Shutterwalk out of beast lobbies. I guess it's just busted with beasts, and they just felt like rather than kind of trying to balance it or change it, you just can't pick Shutterwalk if there is a beast in the lobby. So be aware of that. In Arena, thankfully, if you're an Arena player, the Cavern Dreamer is now a 2-mana 1/3. Was buffed to 1-mana 1/4. Like, why? I drafted 3 of them the other day. Easiest 12 wins of my life. And this is a server-only update, so when you draft it, it'll look like a 1-mana 1/4, but when you play, it's 2-mana 1/3. I actually had it in my deck at the time, and it looked like this. Still won 12 wins, by the way, because it's still busted it too. It's still a good pick, but definitely not as broken. They fixed a bug in Battlegrounds where Leroy's effect would destroy a minion that popped its Divine Shield rather than the minion that killed him, and that actually determined their last lobby legends, which was actually really embarrassing. They fixed a Battlegrounds bug where the Mighty Shoal Spellcraft spell would not work correctly with Magnetic, and the We Did Start the Fire achievement should be fixed. Was not properly progressing. So that's the immolation achievement was not working. So a quick update, quick patch that should be live right now for you all, just so you're aware. So, well, let's take a look at some cards. What do we have for cards? Well, we have first a neutral epic. Ashen Elemental is a 3-mana 2/4 minion. So, well, the stats, they kind of suck. Battle Cry. Whenever your opponent draws a card next turn, they take 2 damage. So this basically, unless their deck is empty, will always guarantee when you play it, they will take 2 damage when they draw their card the next turn. And let's say they have a peasant on the board, right? 1-mana 2/1, it draws a card at the start of their turn. You play this, you let take 2, they'll draw from the peasant, they'll take another 2. If they draw any more cards that turn, they will take more damage. So this is like a direct counter to, there's like that rogue archetype they're wanting to push, right? Where you play a bunch of rogue cards, and you're probably gonna want to draw a bunch of rogue cards, or, well, cards in general. This will be a pretty good counter to that. It's a good counter to any deck that kind of combos a lot, that wants to draw a lot. There's a lot of decks out there. There's so much cheap card draw that it'll punish them for doing that. So it could be disruption, it could slow them down. The way it's worded to me makes it sound like the next turn, right, that they'll take 2 damage. So if it's my turn next turn, if I played in wild like Cold Light Oracle and Naturalize, they take damage. But my understanding is it doesn't work that way, that it's only on your opponent's next turn, even though it doesn't say that. So my interpretation, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen a clarification on it. But in regards to standard, no matter what, I just don't think the card's probably going to see much play outside of a niche tech option, because like you just can't set up reliably when your opponent's going to draw. Like it can basically be like a mini Lotheb in a way, right? Like you just kind of disrupt them. They're not going to want to draw cards the next turn, right? They're just not going to want to do it, so you can play it and do that, right? Like it's kind of a weird pseudo Lotheb. So it has some utility. Like I like the fact it has some utility. It's a weird kind of disruption card. It's a tech option in a way. I just don't think it's going to see play in standard, but there's a possibility just because card draw is such a popular thing to do. But against certain aggressive decks, tempo decks, I feel like they can just play minions, hold out on drawing. It's more of the combo decks and that might not have that option. So in standard, I'm going to give it a very low 3. I think it could pop up in a fringe situation. In wild, I think this is a bit better. If my interpretation is wrong, let's say, and it does count on your turn as well, the next turn, this is pretty nuts with like Cold Light Oracles, Shadow Steps, Naturalizes, all of that, right? Like this could be put in a mill deck, but again, I'm not entirely sure on the interpretation of this, so you guys can discuss below. Maybe you've heard confirmation one way or the other, but even then, I still don't think it's a meta card. Like, it's just, those decks aren't good. They're, you know, kind of fringe, pretty low ranked decks, but they can be used. But its biggest utility for sure works, and that is to get around Ice Block. This can get around Ice Block as long as your opponent has a card and you have them down to 2 health or less. You play Ashen Elemental, the first card they draw, which is the card they draw at the beginning of the turn, takes 2 on their turn, and boom, they're dead. The Ice Block will not protect them. And yeah, this has more utility than like an Eater of Secrets, a Kazan Mystic, all those type of cards. So I think it's a better tech option just against Ice Block. So for that alone, I think it'll see considerable play, considering Quest Mage is a good deck, and people just hate Ice Block, and you play it in your Shaman. Shutterwalk can recast this over and over, so I will give this a higher 3 in Wild, if that makes any sense. I think it's more realistic to see play in Wild, and then you have the mill implications if it works that way, which I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, this Epic might not look amazing, but I think it could actually see play in both Standard and Wild, just because the effect is so unique and does have utility. And last here we have what might be the craziest disruption legendary we've seen in a long time, revealed on Tice's, they're doing a Tice Tavern Rivals thing over on Twitch. Go check that out. There's a Battlegrounds standard competition. It's pretty good. It's at TwitchCon. It's in person. Don't see a lot of that, but yes, Theotor the Mad Duke. It's a neutral legendary. Kind of looks like Druid. It's the coloring. They have like a poster thing. 4 mana 3/3 Battle Cry. You discover a card in each player's hand, so your own, theirs, and then you swap them. So you play this on turn 4. You can take your opponent's Guff. You could take their win condition, their Kazakusan, their Lady Prestor, and you give them a card in your hand that you probably don't care about. This is going to be one impactful trollish legendary. I can't imagine this just doesn't see play. Like, it's going to piss a lot of people off. I feel like it's going to steal valuable cards. You swap it, and I mean, there's going to be a chance you don't see that impactful card in their hand. It's Discover. You only get 3 options. Maybe they haven't drawn it yet, but for example, in Druid, when they play their Cold Tooth Mine, you probably know they're holding Lady Prestor or Guff or something like that, right? You can play this pretty reliably and have a good shot at stealing something impactful. And again, you get to pick what swaps. So you get to pick their good card, you get to pick your bad card or whatever. And I guess if your hand's empty, they'll probably get absolutely nothing. So yeah, Theotor the Mad Duke is a mad neutral legendary, and I fully expect this to see play. This is actually a pretty ridiculous card. I think it's going to be a loathed card. I think the fun will, like, it'll be fun early, and then people are going to get mad that people are stealing their cards, because I do think this is going to see play. The stats aren't great, don't get me wrong, 4 mana 3/3, but the effect could be so potentially powerful, so game winning. A lot of the time, I see it seeing realistic play in certain decks, and like, again, every time there's a Battle Cry, you look at like Bullner, you look at the Macaw, Brilliant Macaw that can repeat Battle Cry, Shutterwalk and Wild, all of that. This can be a really toxic card in Shaman and all that, and I think it probably work with Brand, where you like swap 2 cards. You could end up swapping a card and then swapping right back if you want to be a complete silly whatever troll. But yeah, pretty spectacular. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 in Standard Wild. I think this will pop up in enough lists that it's a pretty meta card, and not even just a fringe card. Look out. Theotor the Mad Duke is going to drive a lot of people mad. Anyways, that's the last card review we have until Monday. So you get a break from all these videos. We'll have a new video tomorrow, a discussion one. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.